of what the influence was just like, okay, we can do something. We can go in a different direction and still develop our illumination skills. Forgive me. This is new for me, working off of a cell phone. And I will say that the other huge piece in forming this concept of it was the murder of George Floyd. Learning about Schomburg helped me realize what I was missing. But Floyd's death reminded me that a narrow, white-centric view of this world has fatal consequences. And I had to actively create a new perspective for myself and share that with those around me. So thank you for all those who helped me expand that vision. So when Maria Adams approached me about doing additional study on illumination through the apprenticeship program, I paused. I was unsure. All I knew about illumination was European. I didn't want to continue down that path. It would have been easy to study the illumination, the European background, because it was so available, but it's not where I wanted to go. Fortunately, Aisha had shown us, that it was possible and that there was much more to learn about. And the exciting thing is that when I brought up the idea of doing non-European illumination, the excitement from this crew was just like, absolutely, let's go, where would we start? You know, what do I need to do to make this all happen? So there was no problem with that. Clearly, the enthusiasm was maybe a little bit more than what I expected. All right, so let me just talk a little bit. We first started off with cave art. All right, cave art's not book art. Why start there? But I wanted to start there because it's a prime example of how even ancient art is whitewashed. Most of us have heard about Lascaux in France, Altamira in Spain, but rarely is there talk about the stunning works in Brazil, in Argentina, in Somalia, and Australia. Indonesia, you know, there's older, better, interesting, it's all out there. But again, what we just hear about the European art. So we moved from cave art into manuscripts from Ethiopia. Here I learned about the Grima Gospels. They are the oldest known illustrated Gospels. Think about that. The oldest known illustrated Gospels. All right. I had only known about the Book of Kells, the Lindisfarne Gospels, these European. I had no idea the oldest one was from Ethiopia and Grima Abbey. How did I get to be 50 years old and never hear of such a historically important book? Because if you look at the Grima Gospels, you look at it and you're just like, there's no way that's not influenced by something else. So that means there's an even more important example prior to that. You know, these things don't just emerge out of nowhere. They evolve, and you don't get something that elaborate that didn't come from somewhere else. Okay. We moved east from Ethiopia to examine Chinese illustrations. What are they doing? How did they do it? Can we get beyond the comfort of our metal nibs? I'm not a brush person. You know, we've got some artists in the room who do a lot of painting. That's not me. I like my sturdy metal nib. And I think there's some consensus on that one in the lineup here. So working with the brush was a challenge for several of us. And it was a good thing we worked with the brush, because we next move to Islamic manuscripts. And here, it's a world of different terminology. There's the organic tezit borders, chintamani, teague, gonchigal, words that I had never heard of, okay? Terminology, design concepts that were brand new to me. And the only book I could find was written in Turkish. So it was a really good thing it had good illustrations. So I was grateful for that. This spring, we touched upon manuscripts from Central America, where here too we were confronted with the devastating consequences of a narrow European mindset. Hundreds of Mayan manuscripts, which were called codices, were burned. There's documentation of a big event where the Spanish bishop gathered all these hundreds of Mayan codices and had a bonfire. There are only 4, possibly 5 Mayan codices that exist. It's really hard to fathom that the body of knowledge in history that was lost is really mind-boggling. To learn together with these women is a blessing that I haven't been able to measure, and I know I won't be able to. I want to just tell you a little bit about each of them. Marie Adams, if you could just give a little wave, is the instigator of all this. She is extremely resourceful. When she wants something, she's going to figure out how to make it happen. And she did that with her desire to study illumination in depth. She was motivated and prolific, producing beautiful work throughout our 9 months. So Maria's book is right in front of me, okay? So hopefully, if you haven't seen the books already, you can walk around and see the books. In the display case, you can't fully see the artwork, so we wanted to have it available for viewing tonight. So this is a one-night special. All right, Aisha Edwards, as I mentioned, was a critical influence on the subject matter. I grew up with the book, The Little Engine That Could. To me, that's Aisha. Maybe doubting her ability to create art, but she allowed herself to trust the process, followed the order of illumination, and moved step by step, discovering how much beauty she is capable of creating. Asa? Asa is a very dedicated student and artist from Bloomfield. Thanks to her art teacher, Kate Wasco, and her dedicated mother for connecting with us. During the pandemic, I was blown away at her desire to continue coming back for calligraphy lessons. She took at least 4 classes online. So she was not only doing online school, but she still hung in there for 2 hours of online instruction, for 6 consecutive weeks. It was impressive. She took at least 4 classes and was amazingly not deterred by the challenge when I invited her to this of studying illumination for 9 months. I mean, what grade are you in? 7th grade. So the fact that she was okay with studying for 9 months a detailed subject like this, thank you. Amelia gets the credit for most time spent with me, which, bless her, seriously, bless her.